Hi friends, how are y'all today? We are going to get into a tarot reading. The question today is going to be, what are you ignoring? The song I got is that Bruno Mars, Lil Wayne song, Mirror on the wall, here we are again. Through my rise and fall, you've been my only friend. You told me that they can't understand the man I am, so why are we here talking to each other again? It could be something about you feeling like here I am by myself again. Like I'm getting this energy of like even during your childhood, like you didn't really have a lot of friends, like you were your only friend. That person in the mirror, who ironically you might have not had the best relationship with, but they were the only person that you couldn't get away from. And though you might have dealt with like abandonment issues, there was something comforting about knowing that you were the only person that couldn't leave you. But with that being said, you could have, like I said, had like such a hateful relationship with yourself because you contributed you as being the reason why no one else was around. That's deep. I infused this video with Reiki, so I'm praying that it offers you some level of healing and clarity within it. What are you ignoring right now? It could be that. It could be something around abandonment or hyper independence, not trusting other people, or being very, very, very paranoid in your relationships, which I understand. I understand. Oh, do I understand? It's like your body is constantly in fight or flight because you're just waiting. You're just waiting for any sign, any inclination of betrayal so that you can hit the road. Because as much as you want connection, there's like a larger part of your nervous system that is like, it's like, no. Like, no. And so that energy could be what's kind of pushed people out of your life. You could have just had somebody out of your life that just kind of you either distance yourself from or like they left. But I feel like the circumstances with this, it wasn't anything negative. It was your nervous system that felt so unsettled about this connection, which sometimes is a sign that it's not right. But sometimes it's also just you constantly having this pattern of betrayals that you are within this space of like trying to learn to trust yourself and figure out what's an intuitive hit and what is just my brain just trying to avoid abandonment or rejection again, which is very, very difficult and it takes time. But I feel like this particular connection, there's a part of you that knows, or a part of you that feels like, I really wish I didn't push this person away. And so you could be feeling like some feelings of regret right now. This looks like a child to me in this image. Got the Fibonacci spiral. Yeah, there's something about you ignoring your inner child and their experiences. You could also be invalidating their experiences. You could constantly like say say you were like provided for as far as like financially and stuff, like you didn't have to necessarily worry about that in your family, but like there was this aspect of um or even if you did necessarily, I just feel like when you hear other people's childhood stories, you instantly go and tell yourself like mine's wasn't bad enough for me to like share. I feel like again that word bad enough is like very invalidating to whatever your childhood experiences were. And I think it's very important. And I think that you're ignoring the fact that you did have very traumatic things that happened in your childhood. Because one thing that none of us really understands about trauma is like it does not matter the varying degree of the trauma that you had. For you, that might have almost took you out. Like, so it doesn't matter if your story you feel like sounds less traumatic than somebody else. For you experiencing that in that moment, that could have literally felt like the worst thing in the world. And I think it's important to acknowledge that. And I think right now you're kind of rejecting this part and this aspect of yourself. This card is about self-examination and introspection. Yes, it's the High Priestess card. But there's like a shadowy image that looks like a child. And especially with introspection, I think there's something important here about you. Like, I call it shifting the sand, so you can see what's up underneath there. But you're ignoring something crucial from your childhood. We got the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands. You'd also be ignoring like somebody that made these experiences in your childhood worse, specifically around like family. If this was a sibling or you know, your mother, your father. I feel like when we have familial connections, a lot of the time we don't make them have the same level of accountability that we would if it was anybody else. They get all the passes in the world, and they shouldn't necessarily. Anger hurts you more than it hurts them, right? But there is an aspect of accountability that needs to be had. It is okay to say what you did was not wrong, was not right. It was not right at all. And there's no excuse for it. I don't care if you say you did it out of love. Like, that is not love. And I think we need to stop doing that and saying that too. It's like a form of gaslighting. Do not tell me that, you know, you locked me in my room like I was Cinderella, or you shamed my body, or you shamed my decisions, or you judged me when I came out, or any of these things. Is like, oh no, I only did that because I love you so much and I just want you to be happy, and I don't want you to lead a life that is too hard for other people to digest. Like, I don't want to hear any of, like, that is not love. Love is there is nothing else but unconditional love. Like, anything other than that, that's not love. It's a trauma response. Like, you're loving me from a very traumatic space. You went through certain things, and so you're projecting that onto me with this expectation that I do or don't do what you did or you didn't do. That's not love. Love is I accept you for who you are. I support you in your decisions. And even if I don't agree with them, I still love you. Like, the love is not removed. And I think that there's something significant about when you tell certain stories that you really try to coddle and comfort certain individuals within these stories, and it has to stop. It's a rejection of your inner child's experiences, because they knew at that period of time, like, that really hurt my feelings. I didn't appreciate that. But the adult you goes and it rationalizes these experiences to try to help you digest them better, but it's not helping you at all. Ooh, baby, it's alright, it's alright. Just got that Luther Vandross song in my head. Maybe something you say a lot. It's alright, it's okay. It's not. It's not. Stop saying that. It's not okay, and it's not alright. You may have to find a way to be okay with it. You may have to find a way to be alright with it, but that does not mean that it's okay and it's alright. One of Swords. I'm hearing One of One. Black sheep energy. Definitely chosen one energy. Anybody that has the chosen one's journey, which, if you really understand what it means to be a chosen one, like, we're all chosen, right? We're all chosen. We're all part of this collective consciousness, this God energy. There is nothing that is more special about one of us than the other. But chosen simply means the ones that actually choose the journey. All of us have the option whether to follow the path or not. You know, if you struggle with something, you could definitely go back and start struggling with it again. Like, that's the choice. You don't have to continue on this journey of growth and self-development and introspection. But there's something about you that has always naturally chose this path. Because you would rather struggle to be who you know you're meant to be than struggle to be who you know you're not meant to be. Because either way, there's a struggle, right? Like, I think you've noticed that. I think you've seen that. But I think this struggle is so much more gratifying because there's usually a release at the end of it. There's some sort of revelation at the end of it. There's some sort of rebuilding at the end of it. Versus that other version is just a breakdown. It's just a series of breakdowns. And I think right now, with all the pain that you've been through, you're through this, you're in this process of like learning how to alchemize it, learning how to fortify it. And in this beautiful way that it's not part of your identity, but it's just a part of your story, which is two very different things. And I think that the part of you that you're ignoring, that is coming up a lot right now, that you just keep trying to force down, is a result of you choosing this path. You could do all the things, the meditations, the books, the retreats, all the things, and still be avoiding that side of yourself that you really don't like to look at. I feel like I'm being led to share this, so I'm going to go ahead and share that I was like a very angry child, very angry. And my anger was like the one thing that I, at the same time, had no control over whatsoever. But what I could control is how long I held on to it. And I could hold on to it very, very long time. And I would hold pride in this trait. Because literally I could stay mad for months and months on end. And I wouldn't sometimes even remember what I originally was upset over. But I would just bask in the feeling of being angry. And so I would continue to hold resentment and anger on and on and on. And even though I knew that it was detrimental to myself, I felt like it was hurting somebody else, which is why I would continue to just like revel in the anger. Because like I said, there was so many other things in my life that I had no control over. I don't know why exactly I'm sharing that, but I feel like it's come up a lot. I went through this long period of time with this journey of healing and having so many beautiful moments, and last year, especially like January through August, it was just like this beautiful journey of me falling in love with life and the beautiful moments that life had to offer. And then I ended up getting in a relationship, and which has brought up a lot of shadow aspects of myself, right? And there's this very difficult conundrum where it's like, as much as I have wanted a relationship, a healthy relationship, let me be very specific about that, being in one, I realized that you have to be healthy to have a healthy relationship. And I think when you're by yourself, there's so many things that you can like ignore, especially when it comes to other people, especially if you're comfortable being a hermit, like I definitely am comfortable being a hermit and comfortable being by myself because I feel safe. That's what I can guarantee, is that my nervous system is going to be calm within my own energy and my own space, because that's what I can control. But I feel like the minute that I start connecting with other people, because I cannot control them, or if they hurt me, or if we if distance comes in, or whatever the case may be, like the one thing that I feel like I've gone back to within like this last month of retrograde and everything that's just been kind of triggering things to come up, I feel like I went back to that childhood aspect of my anger being the forefront of my emotions. And the anger is rooted in fear, but it's also rooted in this feeling of like, this is what I can control. And this is like, I feel like I also have a thing with like being taken seriously. And I feel like when I'm angry, like I'm taken more seriously. And I feel like this is like something that I've had to work through. And also work up the strength to like work through. And it's taken me weeks, and I've it's just been I cannot explain to you how incredibly difficult it's been to work through it, especially with, like I said, if you put in like a lot of work into yourself, then you understand how it is to have to go back to a version of you that you felt like was so far gone, and have to work through things with that version of you. I also feel like that's when this concept of love really comes in. Because the only way to truly love yourself is to love yourself in all of the ways, in all of the forms, right? And when I seen this shadow version of myself that, frankly, I could not stand. I didn't like who I was at that time. And I definitely didn't like seeing it come up. There was a lot of shame and guilt attached to it. But I feel like it came up because I needed to understand that, like, okay, you say you love yourself, and you say that you're in this process of truly loving yourself. Well, here is a part of you. Are you going to love that part of you too? And I struggled a lot with it for a few days, but I had to come to this point where it's like, man, I'm human. Like, I'm human like everybody else. And regardless to this messed up journey of perfectionism that I operate out of, like, I'm going to continue to have experiences that bring up aspects of myself that need healing in order for me to walk into the version of myself that I know I'm meant to be. And this current version of me, this current moment of me, is as deserving of love as the moment of anger, as that version of me that comes out. Like, man, I feel like that's the only way to truly integrate and heal the shadow aspects of yourself. It's not to reject them. It's not to shame them. It's to love them in the way that they show up, and understand that they were a survival mechanism that worked for you at a point in time, and they're just trying to unlearn themselves. But it's still you. And it's still worthy of love, even if it's not the healthiest part of you. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is why certain people in this world that like are like really messed up, that I still empathize towards and have a certain level of even curiosity as to why they are the way that they are. Because I don't feel like there's any other way to heal, any other way for us to be truly outside of a version of like pure love, which is definitely easier said than done. But I do feel like that's one of my purposes in this life, is to be the embodiment of pure love. And I feel like that starts, and it can only start with yourself first. But yeah, that took up quite a bit of our time, so I'm going to end this here. But I send you guys off with love. Good night.